That one's Japan. Damn.
I look good, don't I?
How's it feel, dude?
Yeah, but I want to feel like I'm on, like I want to take the feelings from the day and get that through now. I don't want to just be like retelling and kind of be bored about it, you know? I just have a tendency to have like a monotonous kind of boring voice.
You could probably...
Oh, look at this ramp, man. What is even going on here? That's big. That's big. The thing I'm most worried about is just like how it would feel going down the resi.
Oh shit. Look at this, it's Christmas.
This is personally from me, mate. Might have been from Lux.
Oh yeah? Dude, this is sick. Is this Christmas wrapping?
Oh,
no, it is. With duct tape? I just had to open presents yesterday for the baby shower and I felt bad, like, because I'm opening presents for my child. I'm like, they should be opening. Right.
Ryan and I first met at the Caloundra skate park back in the early 2000s, and from that point, it was pretty clear that we were taking different paths through BMX. With 2 decades having passed since we first met and our differences persisting, the offer from Lux was kind of too good to give up. It presented an opportunity to scratch a creative itch, to take a curious approach, and ultimately to get to hang out with Ryan Williams, who's, you know, an action sports superstar. The way that we're approaching the day is to kind of just be as open as we can and just see what version of Ryan Williams we get. But it didn't take long for a few key moments to arise, which kind of helped bridge a common ground between us through Ryan demonstrating a sense of self-awareness and vulnerability. In one instance, he referred to himself as a worm. I think if there's one way to ingratiate yourself into our world, it's through observationally accurate self-deprecation.
I think it kind of chills you out. You're like, I hope that's me. Sometimes I think that's sometimes the comments that get the most, that affect me the most, is that when people are like, this guy needs to chill out, because I win like a gold medal and I'm like, ah! But it's like in the moment it's so hard to be like, yeah, that was nothing. Yeah. Because I try too hard.
So is the celebration, so the celebratory Ryan Williams, is that just like that's you in the moment, just experiencing pure joy and not being able to, just letting it out? Is it?
Yeah, it's, you know what it's like? It's like when you did that jump from the street to the roof and then down. Like, I'm sure you were going into that. I don't know how you felt, but if I was to do that, like, I would feel like, okay, like I could die doing this. Like, so this is everything. I'm putting everything in 110% of my belief. Like, I'm gonna land this. And then when it works, you probably didn't react like how I did, but I'm sure you kind of felt like, whoa, like so much relief. Like you were probably like, fucking yes.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of how my mentality, I'm not saying that some of the tricks that I do is that, but the mentality that you had was probably the same mentality I have when I like go to do like dirt best trick and I'm doing something that like,
yeah.
I just feel like, especially mega ramp, bro. Yeah. When I did the mega ramp, I'm like, okay, it was like I'm suiting up for war. I was like, I could die.
Yeah.
I could die today. Like when I flip dropped, I'm like, yeah, I could die. And then when you land it, it's hard not to react like that way. For me personally, sorry, it's hard for me not to react like overly ecstatic. And that's, some people think I'm on drugs when I'm doing this stuff. That's how I feel. And I guess it probably feels better than drugs. So.
Was coked out.
Yeah, right? I'm just coked out about to do my run. I mentioned that. But no, I don't know. It's just, I'm definitely going to try chill out the next time I want to go metal, just to like show that I can do it. But it'll probably be harder for me to be chill than it would be to actually just like kind of let it out.
Oh, it's interesting, man.
Yeah.
I definitely know what you mean. Like that, when I did that gap, it definitely was relief. It was like happiness that I'm not hurt.
Yeah. And
that all the emotions that build up beforehand are then released.
Yeah.
And it's like the beauty of feeling that. I'm just more understated.
Yeah.
But I definitely, I think I threw my bike and like fell on the ground or something like that. Was a bit weird for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess like that's kind of, I'm feeling something similar to that, but I'm just kind of, my way of reacting is just kind of a bit excessive, I guess. But it's hard to control it. Like, I don't know. It's like something that sometimes you can't control.
Let it out.
Yeah, I guess sometimes I probably overdo it, but I'm probably used to Nitro Circus where even if I land one foot, you still gotta like pretend that you're stoked because people are enjoying the show.
Yeah.
You know, so if I land one foot on a trick,
yeah,
even if I've done it like 50 times, you know, you gotta be like stoked because you know that excitement helps other people feel excited too. So like more of it's like now they feel like they're more excited about the show. So maybe in that way I kind of bring that kind of to X Games too, because I feel like people are paying money to be there. I definitely want them to sell tickets. I want people to feel good. So even when I crash my X Games run, I'd say some fucking shit about it. If I was at home and that happened, I'd be like, for fuck's sake, you fucking shit cunt. Fucking, what the fuck, you pathetic fucking worm. That's what I like at home, I'd be like that. But then you can't be like that at X Games because people will be like, what the fuck? Worm. Just degrade myself in front of everyone. They're like, what the fuck, this guy's weird. So at home that works sometimes. I'm like, you fucking pussy, what are you doing?
See, you said that if someone wrote that online, you would that would have an impact on you. But not that over everything else. Like someone saying you like chill out, man, is like what stays with you.
I think so because even I watch myself back and I'm like, what the fucking chill out? Because I think it's because I'm actually embarrassed by it. Like I am embarrassed by it when I watch it.
Yeah.
But in the moment I can't help it. Yeah. And almost like it's more embarrassing when you're expressing yourself how you feel in the moment, and then it's embarrassing. Yeah. So you're almost more embarrassed by it because it's like a natural reaction. So, but
that's also, you know, you can see how people might be like, some people who might be like, oh, he's like going a bit crazy, but also if it's just natural, and it's just like, that's part of your whole brand, right? It's like you're who you are, and people like that. Yeah. But I'm also saying that maybe I've kind of grown to be more like that because of doing Nitro Circus, where it's like better for the show. Yeah, it's encouraged to be like that. But I think you're better off being positive than negative. I especially see like you don't really get anywhere in it, like if you get the wrong score at X Games, if you're like fucking what the fuck, like it doesn't really get you much further. Like, and people are like, because everyone has different opinions, and just because someone's opinion is different to yours, like doesn't mean that they're wrong. Yeah. So I think that sometimes that gets people too, like you can go the opposite way. Yeah. So I can be ecstatic all the time and like and I act kind of positive even when something doesn't go right. And then if something's negative, if you act super negative towards it, also is like you're like teeter-tottering just on people's opinions. But mate, I've dealt with people's opinions for a long time, so it's hard to get me to react. But I think that those comments do get me to react, and that's why I'm telling you, because I was like, oh yeah, that is kind of. Why? What am I doing? Why am I acting like that? Yeah, it's just cool. I just wouldn't, like, you know. I guess it's like it's personal to you, as opposed to just like someone could just be like, oh, you know, whatever complaint or whatever criticism, you're just like whatever, like I don't care. But hey, like be more calm. You're like, oh, you're probably right.
You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. See, I'd be impressed if you did that, the gap to the roof, and then after it you were like, cool. You're like sweet. Yeah. Let's go get lunch. I'd be like, what the fuck? This guy's insane.
Well, that's kind of like the pros that I looked up to when I was young.
Yeah.
And I sent it to Mitch last night. I just watched this like Etnies video that Joe and Ruben did, where they catch a train around Europe.
Yeah.
Just those two.
Ruben Alcantara, he was on my iPod too.
Oh yeah.
Etnies Proving Ground.
Yep.
Is that what is it? Yeah.
Not sure.
Or not Proving Ground. It's something. Grounded. That's it.
Grounded, yeah.
Yeah, where he does the wall ride over the big thing and then they have the big piece of wood just on the bus stop.
Yep. It's pedaling across this busy road.
And then Sergio Leos, he inspired me too, doing the 3 inverts over the spine.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway,
all those dudes were like, when you watch their videos and when you see them, they're also like calm and modest and humble, and that's really kind of shaped who I am and how I approach life. And I guess then you'll see that when I do stuff. But
I can't.
You don't want to be like too. You don't want to be. If you've got emotions, you don't want to like hold them in just to be a cool guy as well.
That's true. You know? And I wonder where I mean, I think it's just I don't know where I guess I think that Nitro Circus is probably where I get a bit of like, obviously it's a lot of it's natural, but then maybe some of it's like just being put into me through Nitro, because it's like, it's good to be just positive and outgoing, because people,
as you say, it's
feel it. Yeah.
You know, do they give counselling, or like is there like training that they do, like this is how we need you to act and be? Or
Nitro?
Yeah.
No, you just see it from crowd reaction, like interacting with people.
Yeah.
They show more emotion. The more that you're stoked, the more that they're stoked.
Yep.
And especially if because it's not just, they're not BMX riders.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't even into action sports. So some of them don't even know, don't even know when is like
they're taking cues from you.
Yeah, exactly. So you almost show them, oh, this is a great moment by reacting in that way.
Yeah.
But next time I win a gold medal, I'm just gonna fucking stone cold it. And then people will be like, fuck, this guy doesn't even fucking appreciate winning.
Even in the first hour, there were a number of fascinating moments that came up. Like, I found out that Ryan's never broken a bone before. He recently got hair plugs, and he can entertain a remarkably accurate impersonation of Alex Libb's Lafriki bone. Throughout that discussion, it was cool to hear Ryan acknowledge almost a sense of shame, certainly vulnerability as to how he looks. It was as though he was talking as though he was watching himself. He wasn't psyched on how he was coming across, but also accepting that this is just how he naturally acts. It's not premeditated, which I think was kind of awesome to hear. It just shows that the kid just loves to win, and to be honest, it's hard to be mad at that. As we made our way through the house, I thought it was notable that he looked strange in a domestic setting. Otherwise, you only really get to see him on TV where he's on his bike doing crazy shit in the air. So I guess to contrast that with him in a house looked kind of strange. Ryan gave me the honour of adorning his X Games medals, which is likely a situation I might not have otherwise found myself in at this stage. That's okay. They were heavy. That was funny.
That was Japan. Damn.
I look good, don't I?
How's it feel, Ryan?
If you know the relationship that we share, then the fact that I'm wearing his X Games medals is unique. We moved on to the man cave room, which every bloke should have, I suppose. There was a big ass TV, there was a couch, it was dark. It was a New South Wales State of Origin memorabilia. We joked about that. wrapping up from R Willy's house, it was then time to convoy to Caloundra Skate Park as our next stop. As we got closer to Caloundra Skate Park, unfortunately the weather had turned sour. There was not going to be a session, but that's fine. It just helped speed up our destination towards R Willy Land. Yeah, so reflecting on the Alex Liv impersonation, I think it was notable to highlight that it's important to spend time with someone before concluding your judgment. I mean, his ability to impersonate Liv definitely made me smile. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're now the best of mates, but it did help him buy some clout in terms of raw Australian BMX knowledge, which again helps us to bridge and understand our shared understanding.
I mean, not really. I always like when I felt I got success through doing tricks or making videos that go viral. So that's kind of, I always push to do that. Yeah. So I feel like that's why I do such weird tricks a lot of the times. But I do the weird tricks too because I find them easier. Yep. And no one does them, and then they get more of an impact. That's kind of been one of the strategies that I use, which is so weird to say strategies in BMX because it's like not like that, but it's like freestyle. But it's like Tom Stratton. It's like he's not doing tail whips and he wasn't doing those sort of tricks. He was doing his unique tricks, and that's why we're talking about him today. Like if he was just doing the tricks that everyone else was doing, we wouldn't be talking about him. So in that same aspect is kind of like what I was like in BMX. What could I do that kind of would stand out and that I enjoy?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel like I would approach it as well. I've been like, what can I do that's a little bit different? Like, I suppose that's just interesting to note too. Like your world, everyone's like never before done, or like so critical or like important. Like, and I was going to ask you about that, like doing like a world first. Like I guess it's kind of not that surprising. Like you're just trying to progress. You're trying to do new things and progress the sport. But there's a lot of emphasis on like. I suppose that happens in street. Like you're trying to do new things. Is that simply what it is? Like trying to do the next thing.
I think
and then taking the sport.
I think one of the coolest thing about it. There's a lot of things that I like about it, but I think one of the coolest things about it is that you do the trick that's never been done before. It's called, like, people call it world first just because it sounds cool, but really it's just like a new trick in BMX that now more people know about and will do. So that's the coolest thing I found is like, even when because on scooter, I was like at the start, not many people scooted, and then I was kind of at the forefront of that. So these tricks that I was doing were world first, but then 5 years later, there was 200 people that could do it, and to me it was always a trip like, why couldn't anyone do it 5 years ago? And the only reason is because their mind hadn't like seen it, and that always trips me out. It's like the bike flip. Now 100 people can do it, but for some reason, like I don't know how long ago now, I just did it, and like for some reason, I'm sure people thought of it, but they just didn't make it happen. But like I knew it was possible, and so I did it, and now it like wins an Olympic gold medal, or like people just do it in like it's the easiest, just another trick, which is so that is the coolest thing for me. Is like you create a trick here, and then people get to use that now for like the rest of the time.
Yeah, you're putting something into the world, like creating something. It ultimately comes back to creation. Like
it's almost like I mean I don't know how like a Lucy grind I don't know who did a Lucy grind for the first.
John Engelbert.
Yeah, there you go. So he did that. Imagine he probably is like, this is sick.
Yeah.
How cool is this that he did that, and then he named a trick, and now forever for the rest of the time people.
Yeah.
Like that, if you know, I didn't know who created it, but you do, and for the rest of the time, there's gonna be people that go, yeah, this guy did it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main reason why, what drives me to be like, create a trick.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of my tricks I know that a lot of them are just like another combo, and then it's still a world's first, but I always try to do like something that just wasn't done.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest feeling. Doing a triple front flip's like mad, and it felt good to land,
but you know, it's just another front flip. So, but, which is
you want the next thing though, just like a completely new trick.
Yeah, that's the cool. That's what really gets me going.
I get that. Is it for me? I always feel like there has to be at some point there has to be a limit, but that's maybe this limiting belief that you like.
Ryan's obsession with NBDs and world firsts, and it's from outside it might look a certain way, but getting the chance to chat with Ryan firsthand kind of helped us to better understand it. For example, he sees it as a way where he can kind of dream up and then execute these tricks to leave as this sort of shape-shifting legacy. Interestingly, I kind of then made the parallel with working on video parts, which is something that is more common in the BMX world that we come from. They're both kind of ways that you can leave a legacy for the BMX community coming behind you to pick up and take influence from, which is cool. As we made our way back to the cars, a random tradie working on the roof noticed Ryan and shouted him out, which was funny to see, and then made our way to R Willy Land.
How do I work it? Yeah, we need to get shots of me riding this thing. What do I do?
Go for it, mate.
What am I doing?
Go, take off, go for a ride.
Yeah, so being vastly experienced motocross riders, we had some fun. We had some fun zooming around at the top of the driveway, kind of just, kind of laughing at where we find ourselves and this strange setting. Being in the lair of the world's most famous action sports star. I guess the word is, it just felt strange, but exciting as well.
How do I change gear?
Do the ramp on the moto.
Straight in. That was mad, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, look at this ramp, man. What is even going on here?
What's first thoughts?
First thoughts. That's big. That's big. Now my first thought is, has he got the correct development permits for all these cut and fill works? I'll have to check.
While they were setting up the ramps, the weather had soured, it was starting to rain. Nonetheless, we were remaining positive. We just kind of had to wait it out. During that time, it was really cool to get to know Dylan more. Dylan's kind of his, sidekick, someone that's very much in the shadow of Ryan, largely influenced by Ryan and how he approaches BMX. He proclaimed that he wanted to be the best BMX rider ever in the world, which is nonetheless nothing short of a bold claim. That we got the chance to understand his motivations and his values and his aspirations, which in another context might not have happened, in that cynicism and criticism would have crept in. It was kind of cool to hear how much Ryan has influenced the kid. And they both share this keen sense of determination to achieving goals ultimately. And Ryan and Dylan both have this deliberate, strategic approach to learning new tricks, which is just interesting to see, and as we'll touch on, to observe in real life. Once the weather started to improve, the boys were padding up, gearing up, rearing up, ready to go.
Yeah, like I'm just
at that point, I was ready to kind of, take a seat on the side and watch. But Ryan had other ideas. They were both starting to kind of G me up about hitting the jump myself, something which I wasn't really prepared for, but stupidly I should have known. That's probably always going to be the scenario, given that I had my bike and I was at R Willy Land.
I've got a flat rail over there if you need it.
I feel more comfortable in this than a flat rail these days.
I mean, you've probably done drops the tyres to the ramp, so you might be right, but you need some forward momentum.
Certainly was feeling nervous, but what do? You got to hit it. And again, you're kind of telling yourself, this is big, but you know, come on man, it's a resi, it's a soft fat landing. But even still, I'm happy to admit it, it's still scary, you know. I think the boys were kind of enjoying seeing me a little bit nervous.
Fucking piddly fucking dick size or whatever. Oh well. We'll just jump a few times, and then if you don't want to do it, we'll change it.
Okay.
You don't have to. Do you want to?
No, this should be right. I just need to do it once, eh?
Yeah, it's just like a fucking big, the mellow, imagine the mellow at Cali, but just fucking extended, so you just ride the thing.
Yeah. The thing I'm most worried about is just like how it would feel going down like the resi.
Just to when I got the flat bag set up, my fiance's hit it and my mum, so. But
so if I don't hit it, I'm lesser than a series of females.
Well, yeah, just in the pulses.
What's that thing? Is this an electric motorbike? I'm ego wrestling with not being able to do it and looking like a bitch in front of these boys. Yeah, it's big, man. It's kind of that a little bit nervous, but that's also part of that's the joy of BMX, is kind of absorbing that nervousness and turning it into something productive, or you know, doing something with it. I nonetheless committed to doing the jump, and damn, it was fun. What is it? There's like a childlike sense of awe that you get from bombing down this massive concrete hill, heading towards this huge jump. That's ultimately the essence of riding a bike, like feeling the air zoom past your face, your eyes start to water a little bit at the speed of the air, and at that point you full commit. There's something truly exhilarating about that.
Yeah, here we go. World first. Michael Vockenson, world first. Yes! Yes! World first!
Damn. That was scary.
That was scary?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll turn it up, make it bigger.
Getting through the jump, kind of each turn less gracious than the last, really did feel like a special moment, in that at this stage in my BMX life, being at R Willy Land doing this jump and then having the boys kind of celebrate and give me tips was kind of like, you know, this really nice moment that you just wouldn't expect to find yourself in another setting. I even got a little props from Ryan, which is, you know, kind of cool. Putting aside the aesthetics of the day, again, we're kind of, it's a further move towards connection and bridging this gap of misunderstanding that's existed historically, And at the point that I'd made it through his jump in his like personal compound was almost like the last step that we had to go through to reach this sense of connection, of trust and understanding. You truly felt accepted. It was like, you know, you're not just talking the talk now, you've walked the walk, and you now kind of feel almost like you're accepted as one of them. Now that we'd moved past me clunkily getting through the jumps, it was now time for the Ryan Williams show. He had entered the zone and we were about to witness the show, which was definitely exciting. And once again, super interesting to be able to have the almost narration or, you know, the encyclopedia or the dictionary of Dylan, to be able to ask questions and kind of figure out in more detail what's going on here. Yeah, that's when his eyes glazed over. He left, he energetically left the scene.
Like on that rock. Oh yeah, like. Now I got friends and I think that my friends with you. Yeah. Jesus. We just shot a good extension. I could better just do that, eh? Too anglers, but I live. It's gonna be important. I think I'll take that one. Imagine I get and then I'm stuck later. I got caught on the way back. For the money and it's not for the applause. No. But it's alright, I'll just fucking smash her out again. I got it. Cause after is nothing, it's doing the song. I don't have to hear a thing to know I've been moved on. These chords that I'm using, they usually said I had to use them, they're the best chords that I have. You have to deal with me, otherwise I'm hot. Yeah, this progression is usually sad, but it felt my sorrow when I wanted it to be glad.
He's happy.
Holy dooly!
That was for me.
I think that was good.
That was for me.
Good job. I missed my foot. Oh! I rolled my ankle.
Like, even though it was in the pursuit of an Instagram tile, it's still kind of cool to see what fuels that, which was, again, kind of what these topics that Ryan keeps going on about, of this dedication, this kind of chronic dedication and fanatical focus and drive that he has to achieve and progress and to be better, to be the best. Again, when you've been doing something for so long and you're so dedicated to it, it's almost impossible to not respect it. And you can start to draw parallels between the R Willy world and the BMX world that I come from. They're both very different experiences, yet at the same time there's a variety of similarities. I suppose the key difference is almost related to the end goal, one being victory, success, accolades, and the other kind of being the opposite of that almost. Very different outcomes, but one not better than the other. As had come up a few times throughout the day, was crediting doubters for his success. In opposition to that, he really holds and makes significant people being positive to him. There was a number of times he mentioned how much he respects people like Garrett Reynolds and Lewis Mills, who have given him props over the years. I myself have been one of these doubters. Happy to credit myself with some of his success. It was also a nice moment to address our past and to make good on this thing that's probably been lurking around in the bowels of our souls for such a long time.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to have been a doubter, and now to see it. Like, it's been a long time,
I know. From the crispy stream days.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just stoked you come out here, and I'm stoked to finally get props from you.
Well,
actually,
you said it.
I actually am stoked to get props from you.
Well, you said it in our BMX. You're like, I want to do this thing and get so good at it that you just can't disrespect it. And then like that's happened. Like not that I've matured a lot too. I've gotten older, but that's what I think about Logan and all these guys now. It's kind of like,
we're riding BMX.
You guys are doing the craziest shit. Like, here's me, like, barely getting over it, and you're like doing all this crazy shit. Like, you can't not respect it.
Hey, you just needed a few more hours on it. You'd be up there with me.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Nah, but I appreciate it. Obviously, you inspired me a lot when I was little, and that's why when they asked me to do it, that's why I remember it, what happened, because I looked up to you. So, and then you shredded me. I'm like, fuck, and it always burns deepest when it's the people you look up to.
Yeah, I bet.
But
well,
I'm stoked that.
I'm sorry if I hurt
right.
you.
I'm stoked that you're out here.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. Fucking water under the bridge, brother.
To cap the day and the session off, it was really nice to get a message from Ryan later that night, thanking us for coming out and sharing a session with him, which always goes a long way. Swear to God, Mitch and I will be back. Now that there's been weeks, even months since the day, we've had a lot of time to process everything that happened and to try and find meaning in all the different interactions and the different moments from the day. So that the day went well isn't all that surprising, but there's certainly been a variety of reflections which I found interesting. Getting to that point, I've chatted with a lot of my friends and people in my world since doing this project to kind of get a feel for their view on Ryan and what they think about us engaging in this project, which have been both positive and negative. He's not a traditional park rider. He's not a traditional vert rider. Even like your mega ramp, like he's kind of taking that and making it his own thing. It's really like he really has created this niche that's uniquely Ryan, and it's all about the one big trick. There's definitely action sports stereotypes, and Ryan absolutely hit a bunch of them throughout the day, but the point of this is that being there in person and coming with an open mind, it is genuinely harder to harbour negativity, which is kind of how I was thinking this day might go down, and it did go that way. And to be honest, it was a privilege to spend a day with him. It's not something that happens all the time. If you like it or not, he's one of the most famous bikers, if not action sports superstars in the world. So just to see how his mind works is nothing short of a privilege. Another point that I think is important is there's nothing wrong with being critical of someone, and I'm sure myself and lots of other bikers that I know will continue to be critical of people like Ryan in the action sports world. There's nothing wrong with that. I suppose you're free to think and say what you want, but is it? And in a way, it's valid, but is it worth it? I suppose I'm asking myself, what's the point of harboring kind of really like raw negativity towards someone when you've been doing it for such a long time and you continue to show up and you continue to progress despite everything that's going on around you? That's the mark of respect for me, and has helped to mold my evolving opinion on action sports, in that showing up and showing up and showing up is unable to be questioned, and demands respect, and Ryan's doing that. So respect to you. And again, as I've mentioned a few times, I didn't want this to be a puff piece, and I did want to stay true to my roots and my values in BMX as a, in italics, a core biker, whatever you want to call it, non-performative. But I'm trying to be open to evolving my thinking as new information comes in, which I think is a wise way to approach the world, as well as being able to call a coat a coat. I'm not, humor's pretty important, and I'd like to see that not get lost, even when you're working through a project like this. No matter what you think, we're just little tiny creatures in this massive universe, riding bikes, having fun. It's absurd, it's silly, but it's fun, and that's what we're doing it for. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're just riding bikes. It's silly.
Who's calling me? Who's calling me? And then the friggin' boxes catch on fire.
In what world do you associate R Willy with Freaky Bone?
You can get to see how shit I am at the skate park. Fucking terrible at the skate park now.
A big competition to be the shittest.
Yeah, right? Let's see who's fucking washed up.
I lost what I had to gain. No one to blame.
Have a jump, the nitro jump, across 2 buildings. It's the same jump. Let's fucking break the longest jump in the world. Yeah. And then I fucking measured how long I jumped, my longest, and it was like 65 feet. And I'm like, how far is the longest? And it's like 110 feet. It's crazy you've never ridden on a resi at all. I'm stoked that I'm popping his cherry. Well, maybe we'll just see if you do it, but
A leather jacket, gloves, helmet. I might put shin pads on.
yeah,
Like that's, I'm still doing things to protect myself because I'm worried about what might happen.
yeah,
And it helps so many times. Like the amount of times I'd fall on gravel with my leather jacket on.
yeah.
About that, like, are you a scooter rider still? Like, what are you now? Like,